if you want to see a movie where they shamelessly beat you over the head with a Samsung sponsorship because it was made on a Samsung Galaxy phone, a film that sounds like it was recorded with a tuba of yam in front of a beehive near Third Mainland Bridge traffic, and ultimately a story that almost sent me to the dentist because of how much I had to grind my teeth out of secondhand embarrassment for everyone involved. Lara Unlimited is the movie for you. Before I continue with this review, you should know that I was in Paris in May between the 9th to the 11th to attend the Nollywood Film Festival week. I recently published 2 videos about my experience and the movies I saw there, so do please check them out. You will see them pop up at the end of this video and they will also be in the description. If you have seen the Smart Money Woman series, you know Lara. If you haven't, I have multiple reviews for season 2 on my channel, so do please check it out. But basically, it's a show that follows a group of 4 female friends, Lara included. They do girly and relationship stuff, but always find a way to bring it back to money matters, financial intelligence, career and investment advice. Now, it would seem, according to ToniTones, the actress who plays Lara, that people were clamoring for a standalone series with Lara. I'm guessing this is because she's usually seen as the most ruthless and level-headed of the bunch. You know, she works in oil and gas, is rich, has investment, and has loads of career and strategy advice for everyone. So it's easy to see how the girlies would want to see more of her. The result of that clamor is Lara Unlimited, a show that is written and produced and directed by Arese, Ugwu, original writer of the Smart Money Woman book and TV shows. I'm guessing that the fact that Arese had to wear multiple hats for this is the reason it feels like it was written by ChatGPT. It's even possible that she wrote it with ChatGPT, because you will see after this review that this movie could have just been like a podcast episode or something. I don't know why it had to be more than an hour long. It's currently available on the Azua Studios YouTube channel, so you can check it out if you want to. Something that you should know right out the bat is that the filmmakers in this thing just sold their souls straight for a Samsung phone, because this movie was shot on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, but it just looked like it was shot with a tuba of yam for all the good that it did. Okay, so let's do hopefully quick run through of the story. And if you are here for the girls from the Smart Money Woman show, I have got news for you. They don't actually show up here at all, not even on the video call. So be prepared to see a lot of Lara. At the very beginning, when she's on her way from the airport with her boss in the car, the audio is really weird. It sounds like they're talking underwater, or like they're also eating boiled yam at the same time.
A Kelly bag as a show of appreciation for my champion win.
I don't know why the audio was used like that. Like somebody heard this and still decided to leave it in the... So you already just see the lack of attention to detail. Lara gets home and sends her friends, the girls from the Smart Money Woman, who we will never see in this movie, a voice note gisting them about her trip to Dubai. She then asks Bixby, the AI assistant on Samsung, to reserve a restaurant and send it to the group. Just like that too. She didn't mention the number of reservations. She didn't even mention the group name. But the almighty Bixby somehow just knew what the group meant. Well, they're using a Samsung phone as camera, so let me just overlook the dull advert placement. I don't even think that Bixby actually works like that. The very next scene at her office is another Samsung advert, as we have this receptionist awkwardly trying to remove her ex from her picture. Though it's obvious that the hand movement does not even correlate with what's happening on the phone screen. I think that's called a magic eraser or so. And we never even see the result. All just shoddily done. First, it was her left hand holding the phone and making the changes, and then suddenly the phone is on her right hand. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It was just so hackneyed the way they just put this in. So this intern here makes a pass at her and boasts that he will get a promotion over her since his father bankrolls this oil and gas company, Oasis. I have to ask, how does the intern's father bankroll an oil and gas company? Like, does the company not, drill for oil? I don't get, how does one person bankroll an oil company? And if his father is so rich, why is he not working for his father? Oh boy. Well, I cannot wait to see the great things that the writer will do with this character. Just you wait and see. Now, the third scene of this movie is again another Samsung advert where Lara wakes up in full face beat with eyebrows and hair on fleek and asks her phone for her schedule for the day, where we learn that whoever designed this stuff obviously cannot spell and that they put 19 a.m., whatever that means, before 1 p.m. And somehow nobody noticed. Like, I just saw this while watching it in real time. Man. Okay, then that's that scene. Now the very next scene again is another Samsung advert because you have Lara's sister Simi doing a tutorial on the language translate feature on the Samsung Galaxy S25. See, this movie is just 7 minutes in, and we've had three adverts for Samsung. We are soon introduced to Lara's boyfriend who happened to be with her on the bed. This guy. The guy looks like her son from a teenage pregnancy. By the way, didn't Lara date one South African guy at the end of the last season of the Smart Money Woman? If I recall, they were doing love inside helicopter ride and all that stuff. And meanwhile, for this boyfriend in this movie, they only imply that he has money. The movie doesn't bother to show many things at all. So you don't be saying things like, "Oh, you can afford it," or "We did this," but they don't actually show you anything. So it sometimes feels like you're watching the documentary because of all the talking. Just looking at the guy actually makes me chuckle a bit with his head like Festax 77 mask. But don't worry about him, Sha. He's always angling to take things to the next level, even though he has, according to the movie, literally just re-entered her life after ghosting her. I won't mention him much because he's just here to make noise. He wonders why Lara is either shy or just hasn't told her friends that they are dating. And because the writer, of course, doesn't have much of an imagination, Lara just blots out their entire meeting story.
We met. I stupidly caught feelings. You ghosted. We met again in Dubai, and I somehow ended up in your bed again. Really drab story, if you ask me. Like, not much.
Like, who does that? Who are you telling? Lara's main story arc in this movie is that she is angling for a board position in her oil and gas firm, and she's up against. Wait, does this oil and gas company also sell Samsung phones? Because why is there a Samsung advert whenever she's in the office? Like, what is this now? Is this how you're supposed to make people buy Samsung phones? Come on, take it easy. Jeez. No single subtlety. Haba. Lara is up against Frank, another long-time staff in charge of community relations in their oil drilling sites and communities, I'm guessing in the Niger Delta. And she learns that Frank has been ass-kissing in order to get the job, that's of the position, the seat on the board. He also likes to try and aggravate her by always telling her that she's sleeping her way to the top. Like, I really wonder why she does not just use her laptop and smash his face in. The very next scene has her remembering, strategizing for the position with their head of HR at what looks like a goddamn Samsung office again. I'm so confused. Do they work for Samsung or do they drill for oil? Does Lara sell phone? Because I don't get it. At this point, something funny that I would like to point out is that Lara's boss always talks like his personal internet connection is buffering. And it just makes me laugh all the time. He always pauses for like 2 seconds too long. And his speech has the same cadence in every statement.
Frank hasn't pulled his weight in years.
Unless you're sleeping with her.
Excuse me?
Bros can't even remove glasses at the normal human speed. Like, what was that? In the end, even though Lara has made millions of dollars for the company in all these deals, in whatever obscure thing that they actually do, she ends up not getting the pole position because, small misogyny here and there. All right, so we now get into the second act of the story. It's mostly gibberish, honestly, since the writer obviously knows nothing about how oil companies work, I think, but I'll try to explain it. So Oasis Oil and Gas usually build schools and hospitals in the communities where they are drilling for oil. And I think they settle the gang lord, not the community leaders, but the gang lords of that. Is very I don't get it. But now the gang lord is reportedly dead, and it's on the news. And the new gang leader is threatening to stop all oil drilling until the oil companies build schools or something, maybe more schools. We don't really see any of this. They just tell it to us on the screen because why not? It turns out that Frank and the late gang lord, Dagogo, I think, has been in cahoots defrauding the oil company. And now that Dagogo is dead, there is hell to pay for Frank as the new gang leaders begin threatening him for some reason. I don't get it because he says that he will give them 100 million, but instead of them to collect or ask the company to bring the new funds for the schools and hospitals, which was their grievance from the beginning, they threatened to kill him. I don't get it at all. Like, kill him for what exactly? I found it a bit confusing. Lara, who had been suspended for her outbursts during the board interview, was called back in to solve the problem. Her boss's words are,
You could leverage on your regulatory contacts to bail us out of this.
What does that even mean? Like, what will regulators do to the gang leaders? Plus, are you not the boss of an oil and gas company? How does Lara, who is your employee, have more contacts than you? What is a regulatory contact? Is it like NNPC people? Is it them that will stop the gang leaders? Next scene, Lara is meeting with the new gang leader. She says,
I'm Lara Thompson. I represent Oasis Oil. I'll refer to you by your lawyers, Franco and Franco.
I suggest you.
but what does it mean? What does it mean when she says referred to you by your lawyers? Are you having a legal battle? How did you find the lawyer of a gang leader? And why does the gang leader even have a lawyer? You see how the writer is just making stuff up as she just goes along, right? It just doesn't make any sense. She tells the new gang leader, I don't even know if his name is actually mentioned in this entire movie. I cannot remember it, and I don't remember hearing anybody say it. She tells the guy that they are willing to invest more in their communities and build more schools. But then he just bundles her out of his presence. So I don't get it. What does he want? The whole storyline just pissed me off so much. It's like, as I'm explaining it, I feel like I'm explaining Nigeria. And if I explain it and you understand what I'm saying, then it means I did not explain it well at all. Because even I, who saw the thing about twice in order to write this review, I'm not quite sure what happened. Later that night, Frank is kidnapped by the gang people, and when they remove the blindfold and he asks what they want, the gang leader, who we only ever see in Lagos instead of this community where he's supposed to superintend, and who moves around with only 2 people, by the way, says,
You want confession? Easy. Restitution for my people.
Now, finally, Frank says the most sensible thing in this whole situation.
How is holding me hostage going to help people now?
But the gang leaders have no answer for him. He promises them anything the community would want, but the gang people just go off on another tangent that doesn't solve the problem or address the issue. I didn't get it. So do you want money for the schools and hospitals or not? Then he switches his mouth and then says that Frank has to confess. So if Frank confesses in public and is arrested, that's if he confesses to corruption or for taking the money meant to build schools. If he confesses and is then arrested, how will he then build the hospital you just asked for like 3 sentences ago? I don't know if everybody is mad in this thing. They get him to confess on video and someone sends it to Lara, but I'm not sure who the person is or how the person even got it and why the video was not sent to the public. If that was the whole point, why did somebody else get it and send it to Lara? So let me just go on. We have to sit through some of these boss guys' weird acting. Like, just look at.
But how did we get here? No wonder.
God. If you are still here and you love my content, you can help out my channel by liking and leaving a comment so that YouTube can show this video to more people. It helps with the algorithm. This goes a long way in helping my channel grow. So thanks a lot. Back to the show. In the end, Lara gets the gang leader back on the negotiating table and promises to build more schools and hospitals in the community, and also promised to personally oversee the construction and the finances of the thing herself. For some reason, this was acceptable to the gang people. I don't know. Finally, even though they've all just been saying the same thing. And they shake on it. Why did I mention that they shake on it? Well, because it was not so much as hands shaking as it was snakes decoupling from each other after mating. Because the handshake looked so weird. I looked at it a couple of times, wondering why her hand entered so weirdly into his hands. Before I realized that this whole thing was being shown in reverse. So the camera did not catch a close shot of their hands meeting. So the editors simply reversed a sequence of their hands parting to make it look like the hands were meeting. This is so embarrassing. Like, God Almighty. When I point things out like this, you call me a hater, but you can just see how this is just incompetence. It's not even like, it's not a constraint of budget. It's like a limitation of sense, right? Of number 6. These things are not hard. Like, these Azoa Studios people should really consider just selling roasted yam or doing POS outside their studio, because this whole filmmaking thing is not their thing. Now, even though Lara personally promised to oversee the building of schools and hospitals in the community in exchange for Frank being released and the news being suppressed, she immediately quits as soon as the gang people were out of the room. And I was confused afresh. Is there a missing scene? If she quits, who will then oversee the thing on behalf of the company that she just promised the gang people? And why would the gang people then release Frank? I didn't get it. Oh, at this point, I should tell you, remember that intern guy at the beginning that said his father bankrolled the company and he will be kiniko. That was the last time we ever saw him. He will never see him again in this movie. Storytelling, ladies and gentlemen. Storytelling. Now, after Lara quits, her boyfriend lovingly, during one of their bedroom talks, gives her two options. Number one, he says that she could spend the next year having his baby. I thought, he was trying to propose with style. I was like, oh. She even asked why she would do that without a ring. And I was honestly expecting him to bring out a ring from his pocket or want something. And he just says, ring, they come. Like, is this guy okay? For option two, he says she should pick anywhere she wants. I thought, okay, another surprise way to introduce the marriage talk, maybe where they would wed. But then when she asks why she should pick somewhere, he says it's so they can go there and plan her next move, especially as she has hinted at opening her own business. I don't get it. What kind of rubbish talk is this? What are these rubbish options? This looks like the kind of talk that you have over WhatsApp while you're in traffic, not after cuddling, after McQuay and doing bedroom. This entire scene was just rubbish. Anyway, after this, the people at Oasis Oil and Gas beg her to come back to the company and give her a position on the board seat and increase her salary by 50% or 30% or something. The end. The show is very, very, very lazy. Multiple characters kept using the same office as their office, the very same office, the room. They all seem to have this oil and gas company inside Samsung office. The audio is weird. The ambient noise is ever present, just like it is in Smart Money Woman series. They just use talk to disturb our ears without ever showing anything. It's sad that they could not even get a voice note or a video call from the other girls on the Smart Money Woman series to make this movie look a bit more expansive, because I just felt like everything was shot inside a room or inside two rooms. Just make it look like they are in the same cinematic universe with this Lara Unlimited, and that Lara is not a lowly character. Because in the end, she's always talking about hanging out with the girls, but they are no girls. She never hangs out with anybody. She literally doesn't have any friend that we can see on screen. She's the only one from beginning to end, making this movie very monotonous and tiring to look at, because it just gets too much of a resting bitch face. I don't know who this show is for exactly. For Smart Money Woman, we know it's basically finance education, especially for women. But this is just drab and uninspiring. And because of the way they did it, I can't tell if ToniTones is actually a good actress or if she was just suffering under the weight of being the only experienced actor on the screen. I felt a little sorry for the receptionist lady, because she seemed like she would do much better in a better show, but she just did what she could to survive this one. She was a bit weird, but I just felt like with a bit more guidance, she would have been perfect. Now, this show is exactly the same production quality, or maybe even less, of Smart Money Woman, since they decided to record it with a phone. The rubbish they do isn't because they are constrained by budget or any technical anything, but because the producers have a personal mission and vision statement to just not be good at what they do. Imagine my surprise to learn that there was a colorist on this movie, even though it looks as washed out as the average Samsung phone video. So what exactly did the colorist do? In the end, I will give this one a 3/10, and I'll even explain each of the numbers I'm giving. One is because they managed to upload it to YouTube at all without any shame at all. Like, they have mind though. Two is because ToniTones tried her best, I think. And three, because they use a Samsung phone, which I suppose is a risky venture. I mean, I was impressed that they actually went ahead with this phone thing, but it would have worked out much better in the hands of maybe smarter or more experienced filmmakers. Yeah, so that's it. It's not really much of a movie. It's something that they probably should not have bothered with, because it does not fit in with the rest of the universe, even though we have a character from the Smart Money Woman series. And yeah, that's my verdict, 3/10. All right, guys, that will be all for this review. Oh, by the way, I saw a new Netflix show, The Party. Yeah, The Party. I'm thinking I might review that one. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's a 3-part series. I'm done with 2 episodes. I haven't seen the last one yet. But, it's looking alright. It has some nonsense inside. But, it's looking alright. Alright, guys. That is all for this review. I will see you on the next one.